In our last episode, we documented what happens to your location data after it leaves your phone. A federal court complaint revealed that a single data broker processed 94 billion location transactions per month, and that its data specifically identified mobile devices at places of religious worship sold to anyone willing to pay a subscription fee. Today we go further back, before the data broker, before the sale, to the moment it all starts, the instant you open a web browser. Because to understand where your data ends up, you first need to understand how it is collected. It begins with a cookie. A cookie is a small text file that a website places on your device when you visit. The purpose originally was convenience. A cookie lets a website remember you. It keeps you logged in. It saves your shopping cart. These are mostly harmless. But the internet did not stay simple, and cookies did not stay harmless. The FTC has been tracking online behavioral advertising since the mid-1990s. Their 2017 cross-device tracking report documents the progression, from cookies tracking consumers on a single browser, to cross-app tracking, to tracking across every device they own. What started as a convenience became an industry. When you visit a website, any website, it is also loading code from dozens of third-party companies you have never heard of and never agreed to interact with. Advertising networks, analytics platforms, data collection services. Each of those third-party services drops its own cookie on your device. And because that same third-party network is embedded on hundreds of thousands of other websites, it can now recognize you everywhere you go online, not just on the site you visited, everywhere. The FTC's 2017 report describes how companies use these third-party networks to connect a consumer's behavior not just across websites, but across every device that the consumer owns. The FTC report calls this a consumer's device graph, a complete map of every device linked to that person, their household, and their behavior. Cookies are not the only tool. Meet the tracking pixel. A tracking pixel is an image, often exactly 1 pixel in size, invisible to the human eye, embedded in a web page or an email. When your browser loads that page, it has to retrieve that image from a remote server, and the act of retrieving it sends your IP address, your device information, your browser type, your location, and a timestamp, all automatically, all silently, to whoever controls that server. You did not click anything. You did not install anything. You did not agree to anything, you simply loaded the page. This is what the FTC was describing in its 2022 commercial surveillance rulemaking when it noted that harmful commercial surveillance practices may be, in the agency's own words, prevalent and increasingly unavoidable. Now you can see the full picture. It is larger than any one piece suggests. Your browser cookies map your interests, your reading habits, your political leanings, your health concerns. Tracking pixels extend that map to every page you open, every email you read. Your mobile device's location coordinates log where your body physically travels, and cross-device tracking stitches it all together, connecting what you read on your laptop to where you went in your car to what you searched on your phone. The FTC's 2014 data broker report found that data brokers analyze this data, make inferences from it, and sell it in packaged audience segments. They allow clients to identify and target consumers based on inferred characteristics, including, in the FTC's own documented examples, political and religious affiliations. Data collected about where your phone was on Sunday morning can be sold as a targeting package to a political campaign, a foreign-funded lobbying organization, or anyone else willing to pay for it. The FTC's 2014 data broker report identified the primary categories of buyers: marketing and advertising clients, risk mitigation firms, and a catch-all category the report calls people search products. But the X-mode enforcement action revealed a buyer category the industry rarely advertises: government contractors using location data for national security purposes. The FTC's complaint against X-mode specifically charged that the company failed to disclose to consumers that government contractors would be among the buyers, and that the data would be used for national security purposes. The location data collected from your phone when you visit a church, a political meeting, or a medical clinic, gathered through apps you downloaded for entirely unrelated purposes, was being sold to government contractors for national security analysis, and you were not told. You have seen the banner. Every website seems to have one now. You click Accept All, Because the Manage Preferences option looks complicated, that click is treated legally as your informed consent to a data collection operation you have no way of fully understanding in the moment. The X-Mode enforcement action documents exactly what that consent often conceals. The FTC charged that X-Mode provided third-party app developers with sample privacy disclosures that did not fully inform consumers about which entities would receive their data. As of 2024, no comprehensive federal privacy law governing commercial surveillance has been enacted. The FTC continues to pursue individual enforcement actions under Section 5, but those actions address one company at a time, while the industry as a whole continues to operate. 2 episodes ago, we began with a simple question. What happens when you visit a website? A cookie drops on your device and follows you everywhere. A tracking pixel transmits your presence to servers you have never heard of. Your phone's location coordinates are sold to clients ranging from shoe advertisers to government contractors. That is the infrastructure. It did not come into existence to target Christians. It came into existence to make money, but infrastructure does not care who uses it. In our next episode, we document what happens when that same commercial surveillance architecture, the cookies, the pixels, the location feeds, the audience segments, is found running on a government website, tracked to a private political organization, and no one in that government was told. The documents are already filed. The code is in the website. This is Words with Wentz. Know your rights.
Let the signal cut through the noise. Reading between the lines. Every story leaves a trace, unlocking time and space, finding truth with Wentz.